Do you feel lost when it comes to nutrition, counting macros, and the endless information there is out there about optimizing your energy and getting into the best shape that you want to be in? Jenny, the nutritionist, has designed the nutrition program for ladies who lift weights and want to build muscle and decrease body fat. Vaguely eating less and working out more is not how you create an above average shape. Building a badass shape requires a strategy where your nutrition is aligned with your training and your plan is fine-tuned. Create Your Shape is Jenny's 4-month nutrition coaching program where she'll help you change your body composition. You'll be taught the science of nutrition and you'll be able to create a nutrition routine that runs on autopilot. I have learned so much from her and she truly is the best at what she does. For Mindset Mile listeners, she's offering 10% off her 4-month nutrition program with the code MILE10. Check her out on Instagram at Jenny the Nutritionist and go to jennythenutritionist.com/create-your-shape to learn more and join the Create Your Shape ladies. Welcome to the Mindset Mile podcast, the show that'll leave you empowered to take action towards becoming the turned up version of your already awesome self. I'm your host, Aisha Zaza, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's go. Hey friend, welcome back to another episode of the Mindset Mile podcast. This week's Ask Aisha question is, what are some ways your life has improved living near the beach? I used to hate running, as you might know. And whenever I would go visit beach towns or beach cities like San Diego or LA, and I would go to the beach or would be walking along the bike path, I would see people running and I just envied their lifestyle. I was like, man, I wish that I could love running the way that these people looked like they loved running next to the beach. And I swore that when I moved to the beach, I would take up running and I would live that active, healthy lifestyle that I admired. And I did that. I did exactly that when I moved to Santa Barbara. It did take me a little while to get into running, but I would just go out and I kind of replaced, happy hour with happy hour at the beach. And I would just go run 1 or 2 miles at a time until I built a great base. And it was because I let go of this expectation that in order to be good at running, I needed to run like 5 or 6 miles at a time. Once I let that go and I just let myself get good at running and build a foundation, I started to really love how I felt. And when I focused on how I felt, I was able then to go longer. And I was obsessed with getting out in the evenings and running by the beach or in the mornings, whatever time of day it was. It was just so peaceful. So that led me to training for and running my first full marathon. And through that experience, I just changed in so many ways as a leader and as a speaker and as just who I am. I feel like I transformed so much through that process. And so I have all of that to attribute to living near the beach or moving to, close to the ocean. So that is really the biggest way I would say my life has improved is I've become a lot healthier and overall just a better version of myself because of moving to the beach. So okay. Anyways, I wanted to share this with you because I feel like things have shifted in the last couple of months for me. So my son, Oliver, just turned 7 months the other day, and I finally feel like I'm operating from more of a rested and peaceful place as we have found a rhythm with 2. And we are just stepping into a little bit more of consistency and predictability. And that just feels really nice. And of course, if you're a parent, not every day, no 2 days are the same, really. There is still little predictability, but you know what I mean. And I've also been working on something that I absolutely cannot wait to share with you, hopefully by mid-August, which creatively has been so fulfilling. And just also there are some exciting upcoming changes that are going to be happening for my family. And it's made me take a pulse on a few questions I like to ask myself in each new season of my life. And I wanted to share them with you. But before I ask you these questions, I want you to think about it like this. You wouldn't get in your car and drive it nonstop for 30,000 miles, right? And by nonstop, I mean without getting any type of routine maintenance, right? You're obviously not going to drive 30,000 miles in one sitting, but you wouldn't drive your car for 30,000 miles without getting an oil change, right? Your car would for sure stop working before then. And even if it did make it that long, it probably wouldn't be running very smoothly anymore. And it would take a lot more money and time and inconvenience to fix your car rather than if you were to do routine maintenance along the way, right? So the same goes for us. As humans, it's so easy to run on fumes and lose that clear vision and focus when we're running a million different directions with work, with business, with family, with social life, and trying to just keep up with everything. So this is why I think it's vital to check in with yourself and to take an inventory on how you're doing. What are things that are working well that you can keep doing? What are things that are not working well anymore that you need to change, and so on? So, how are you really doing? And it can start with this question. Does how I spend my time and with whom I spend my time with align with how I want to feel? Quality and stylish eyewear is a non-negotiable for me, which is why I love Goodr sunglasses. As a mom of two, I have enough things to remember to get out the door. So since Goodr sunnies are only $25, I like to keep them everywhere from my purse to my gym bag to my center console in the car, so I'm never without sunglasses. They're lightweight and comfortable, and I love that they don't budge when I wear them running. If you want to support the show and pick up a pair, Goodr is giving Mindset Mile listeners free shipping on your first order. You can go to goodr.com/Mindset Mile and use code Mindset Mile at checkout for free shipping. And I also posted the link in the show notes. Goodr offers 30-day back money guarantees and 100% satisfaction. Find your pair at goodr.com. That's GOODR.com/Mindset Mile to get free shipping on your first order. I've been taking a multivitamin for as long as I can remember, but it wasn't until the last several years that I started diving into the quality and bioavailability of the vitamins I was taking. When I found Ritual's Essential for Women 18 and Up, my search for the perfect multivitamin was over. Ritual uses high quality and traceable key nutrients, and their unique patented beadlet in oil capsule has delayed release design, which is gentle on an empty stomach. Get to know your nutrients on a deeper level with 20% off during your first month. Visit ritual.com/Mindset Mile to start Ritual, or you can add Essential for Women 18 and Up to your subscription today. Every action we make, or lack thereof, has consequences. So for me, when I feel strong, healthy, creative, and focused, I feel like my life has harmony. So for example, a few things that move me away from feeling strong, healthy, creative, and focused would be eating out too frequently, or not fueling my body with good whole foods, or not exercising 4 to 5 times a week, or drinking too much alcohol, even if it's just one that I can feel the next day, right? Like when you can just feel like a little off or tired the next day. Or if it's overcommitting to social plans where I don't have enough time to get my work done or prep food to make me feel fueled, and so on and so forth. I can tell really quickly when I am living out of alignment, when too many of these things are happening all at once, or any of them are happening frequently. So if you are someone that has been feeling tired or sluggish or unmotivated, or you're just not seeing the progress you want in your business, or overall just unhappy with the way that you feel in your skin, how are you spending your time, and with whom are you spending it with? Because that's going to have a direct correlation to how you feel. And I want to encourage you to examine those things. Wanting is the lowest form of motivation, right? Like, how easy is it to say, I want to be fit. I want to run a half marathon. I want to make more money. I want to feel creative. Well, if you're spending time getting distracted, like online shopping or going out to eat several times a week after work, or you're putting yourself in situations where you're tempted to deviate from what is going to make you feel your best, then the consequence is that you're going to be moving away from how you want to feel. So, how do you want to feel? Is what you're eating reflecting that? Does how frequently you want to move your body and how you want to spend your downtime reflecting how you want to feel? Now, I know this sounds really simple. It's like a direct cause and effect. But the reason we end up not meeting our goals or stepping into our potential is not because we blatantly choose to. It's because of an accumulation of our minuscule decisions and actions that we think are harmless that compound over time. And this all leads to how we feel. All of these things that I'm talking about, they result in how we feel, whether we feel productive and vibrant and happy. We're able to, when we're operating from those places, we are able to put our best foot forward. We are able to do more. We are able to give more. So write this down and answer it honestly and just make adjustments accordingly. Does how you spend your time and with whom you spend it with align with how you want to feel? The second question is what I'm doing now going to get me to where I want to be in a year from now? So a few days ago at the gym, a part of the workout was doing I think it was 100 meters of sled sprints, and they were fairly light, but trust me, like after 50 meters, like you're really starting to feel the burn and it hurt. And it was so funny because it was visibly noticeable that it sucked for everyone involved. Okay. We were all just kind of like dying, and there were 5 rounds of this. So, and there was other work in the workout too, but these sled sprints were just like getting everybody. And after the workout, like most of us were just lying on the floor trying to catch our breath. And it was just a few minutes later that we were up high-fiving each other, being like, man, that sucked. But like, it was so fun. Like, it was actually fun. You remember the hard work. And at the time, it might have sucked a little bit, but you reflect fondly of those things that you do that are hard. And it got me thinking about how I really appreciate type 2 fun. So type 1 fun is when you are having fun in the moment and you are being rewarded or feeling a sense of satisfaction or fulfillment in that moment. So an example of that would be like going out and drinking with friends, right? Like it's fun. Everyone's laughing in the moment. You're loving it, but you're going to pay for it later. But type 2 fun is kind of where you're paying for it now and then enjoying it later. So it's this sense of delayed gratification, which is exactly what was happening, during this workout with these sled sprints, is that it sucked, but there's a sense of purpose that you feel when you are sharing a workload and pain with other people. And that's what I love about CrossFit and group setting fitness, is that there's a bond that is happening without you needing to be directly involved with anyone or anything else. Like you are just focused on what you're doing, but there is a sense of closeness that people feel afterward. And that is type 2 fun. I have a lot of conversations with people around discipline. And for many reasons, people feel this underlying trigger around the word discipline. They think that it means in order to have discipline, that life would then be void of fun and spontaneity. But I would actually argue that the opposite is true. I have never regretted being focused and disciplined when it comes to making decisions now about what I want in the future, right? So I'm kind of starting with the end in mind and making decisions with the end in mind. But I have regretted not starting something sooner and putting it off because I'm waiting for the perfect time or the next best thing or whatever it is. Because here's the truth. In a year from now, you will have wished you started today. And in a year from now, or shoot, even in 6 months from now, you will either have 6 months of progress or 6 months of excuses. I know that I live in alignment when I have telescopic vision with microscopic focus. You've got to keep the big goal in the front of mind and execute on it by making decisions on the micro level that support it. It all comes down to what you do consistently. And the third question is, am I doing things with love? We all go through phases where things feel monotonous. Same thing, different day, right? And if you're an adult with any amount of responsibility, then a lot of it probably feels like it's out of obligation. It really wasn't until I read the book The Carpenter by John Gordon years ago where I had this epiphany that I could always choose to operate from a place of love when I want things to feel different. Even if they were mundane or lacking luster, or even if I was mad, I could still choose to operate from a place of love, even though I was mad. If you feel like your relationship is dull and you're going through the motions, but you're wishing your partner would act more loving towards you and do loving things for you, act loving towards them first. If you are grinding in your business right now and you're making moves, let's say to be the highest producing real estate agent, or if you're working towards your next promotion or growing your team, I can almost guarantee you are going to be met with a lot of resistance along the way and will likely not get to what you want if people can feel like you have your goals in mind instead of how what you're doing is going to best serve them. Ultimately, are you acting in a way that is entitled, too busy, or like you're holding small grudges based on how people treat you? It is truly the slightest shift, but it is literally just a decision to operate from a place of love. And once you make that decision, you will just feel it in your heart to do things out of love instead of obligation or from annoyance, or if you are acting in a way that you want to get something out of the situation. If you just choose to do it out of love, you will see a shift. You will see a huge shift in your life. It's got to come from you. It's got to start with you. And this is a question you can and sometimes should ask yourself daily. Because our loving gestures are not just acts of service, they are felt. That's the thing, is that people can feel when you're doing things out of love instead of just doing things out of obligation. And when people feel loved and appreciated, they will reciprocate with love and appreciation. I know this can feel hard if you're like, well, I'm the one who needs to feel loved and appreciated, and I'm missing all these things, and I want them to do this, and I need them to do this. It's not a if they, then I'll do this. If they do this, then I'll do this. It's got to start with you. It's the difference between telling someone how you want to be treated and showing them. When we operate from a place of love instead of obligation, life feels so much more peaceful and harmonious. So I want to ask you these 3 things one more time. Does how you spend your time and with whom you spend it with align with how you want to feel? Is what you're doing now going to get you to where you want to be in a year from now? And are you doing things out of love? These are game-changing questions, my friend. I promise you they are going to make a world of a difference if you adjust accordingly. And if you loved this episode, please send it to a friend. Tag me on Instagram at Aisha Zaza so I can see that you love this episode. And I cannot wait to see you next week. And until then, make it a great day.